Hello, everybody. Please bear with me for a moment. We're having a technical issue. We're having a guest host today by the name of Jordan, and I'm just having issues getting her in and getting her here to help us. So if you can just bear with us a moment, we will get this going very shortly. Thank you for your understanding. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience there. This is one of those special days where I get a change in my hosting normal routine because today we have the incomparable Jordan Fish who is going to be working with us today. You may notice I refer to her as Fishy affectionately because last name of Fish.
Mhm.
But she is here. She is one of our amazing onboarding specialists. She's covering for our good friend Heather, who is enjoying fun in the sun right now without us, and we're not jealous at all.
Mhm.
And as always, I am Glenn. I am part of our Resolution Tier 2 and onboarding team. And today we're going to go over mastering your CRM, your expert live coaching session. And with that, Jordan, go ahead and say who you are and what you do.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for joining us today. So as you mentioned, I'm an onboarding specialist. I'm going to be covering for Heather, who is having the time of her life right now. But hopefully we can still have quite a bit of fun as we sort of informally walk you through Top Producer here and make sure that you guys are comfortable using your setup. Um, Make sure that you can also interact with us. So this, as I mentioned, this is informal. So ask questions, let us know kind of where you're at. We can slow down, we can speed up, we can review things. We really just want to make sure we curate this so that you get the most out of this webinar.
Absolutely. And I have the chat window up on another screen here. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Let us know what you need help with or concerns. And both Jordan and I will do our best to answer those questions for you.
Totally. Great. And I
Now,
guess with that, oh yeah,
yep,
we can also provide extra support with our lovely support site as well as with our live chat and email. So the main thing is we know it can take a little bit of time to get used to some new technology. Just know that there's lots of ways for getting support from our team. So whether either asking a question now during our webinar, visiting our support site, emailing us, or using our live chat, it's a real human on the other end. I know that's a big thing for Glenn. He's not a big fan of robot takeover from what I what I know of him so far.
yes,
But just know we've all been there and we're happy to help along the way.
yep. My favorite line is to say that our chat is 100% homegrown humans. They are available Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And for our East Coast friends, convert that to 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can also email us at support@topproducer.com. please do at least allow 24 hours. So only use that for non-time critical issues. And like Jordan said, we have our support site at support.topproducer.com. You can ask many of your quick questions there, get a quick answer right away. I use the word quick way too many times there, but it's our frequently asked questions, and you can find all you need from there. So today we're going to begin your CRM journey. So let's make sure you're logging into topproducer.com at crm.topproducer.com, and let's get going. And this is where I'm going to click the next slide and let Jordan turn into the Muppeteer who's controlling me, the human Muppet.
We say it in a very beloved way, a beloved Muppet, you know? So thank you. So yeah, the main thing, of course, is we want to make sure your settings are all looking good to go. So settings are really the backbone to ensure all your features on your CRM are working correctly and are curated to your business. So that means making sure your information has your contact information in it. Main thing too is your email integration, just making sure everything from there is running smoothly. So that way, of course, everything can run correctly. Yeah, oh, perfect.
Yeah, sorry, I went a little bit ahead there. So let me get everything back up and running, and we'll get back over to here. And
Here we go. The Muppet is on it. Perfect. So
sometimes,
yeah, this
sometimes
is
the Muppet is on it.
it's teamwork, yeah. I did so the main thing here, this is where your settings are. Just make sure if you, especially as if you're just starting, like check in here, make sure you're comfortable. If you have any questions along the way, you reference to what we mentioned earlier about the support site and contact information. My main, yeah, that's where the support site is. My main things is really just making sure your email integration is running. That way you're able to send emails through your top producer here. If you've just set it up, give it a full 24 hours to fully connect. So it's okay if it's throwing an error within, 10 minutes after integrating it. That's totally normal, just populating throughout the servers. The other thing with emails is make sure that you also add an email signature. So even though you're connecting it to an email provider, it won't. Wow, nice, Glenn. Um, so even though you're pulling over that sort of ability to send emails to a top producer, it won't pull the email signatures. So just manually add it here, and you can make it as fun as you want, as Glenn did here. So that way that's working well for you. So that
Totally informal. As you said, we're totally informal here.
software can be a dry subject. We try to liven it up a bit.
For sure.
Yeah, so those are definitely a highlight. And of course, this is where you can import your contacts. So you have import contacts. So if you have an Excel sheet that's a CSV, bring them in here. It's a great way to bring them in bulk. The other way to also bring contacts in bulk is contact sync. So if you have contacts saved under an email address that's listed here with the emails that were provided or compatible with, you put it in there and then it will bring all of your contacts over that's under that email address. So at least you could have two options to be able to bring a bunch of contacts in one go, because that's kind of the bread and butter of having a CRM is hosting all your contacts one place. So you're able to make the most out of your network. Those are the main ones. Of course, there's other tabs in here, depending on your situation, that can be more helpful. MLS credentials is also a really big one. So if you do have an MLS that we're compatible with, that way you can add it here. So that way you can have access to some little features that pull from the MLS, like by property insights and what have you. Or if you're using Market Snapshot, this is where you have to set up your MLS credentials so Market Snapshots knows what MLS to pull property information from. But yeah, those are my main highlights for settings. Everything else is a little bit more straightforward and kind of might be dependent on your situation. Is there any other settings that you think are good to highlight, Glenn, before we move forward?
Absolutely. One of the best ones is one that we recently added in,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
like to say is done by feedback from our clientele. So in the old days, I know as a software support representative for more years than I want to count, a lot of companies, when you say to your customer service reps, hey, this is a great idea I'd like to have, they tell you, yeah, we'll get that to our developers, and it goes into the circular filing cabinet. On the other hand, we actually like to listen. So we now have this button called notifications. So, and please keep in mind, I'm on a Canadian account and we don't have text messaging attached to Top Producer up here yet. So you'll only see this with email options. But if you go to notifications in your settings and then go to task reminders, you can set it up to allow you to get notifications directly to your email and your cell whenever you get a task coming up. And then when you're creating said task, you can set the appointment time reminder. So let me just connect that so that I can go into a task really quick. And again, I just clicked on tasks over here. This will take you to your all-encompassing tasks for everyone. We'll
Mhm.
add one. And let's say I have to make a phone call. Well, Jordan.
Mm.
And I want to make sure I call her around, well, let's see, noon tomorrow. See how quick and easy this is to set up when I'm not trying to do it quickly. I'll set it for 12 p.m. so I don't call you in the middle of the night because that
I
would be
appreciate
creepy.
it. I appreciate it.
And then 15 minutes before, I'll get an email sent to me to remind me that I have said phone call.
Yeah.
And there it is. Tomorrow, call Jordan. And it has the reminder is set to send out to me. So easy as that. It's a great new addition that, like I say, was something that our clients have asked us for. And we were very happy to be able to give that to you. And if you do have suggestions and ideas for us, please click on the feedback button here in the bottom left. I like to say to give as much feedback as you can because it goes directly to our developers and to our leadership team. And I'm a huge fan of abusing them and giving them a lot of work to do to make this a better program for you. We're the geeks on this side that make it, but you're the ones who are using it. Let us know what you need so that we can make it a better experience for you.
It's so true. It's a nice thing to be able to add in our onboarding nowadays. It's like, oh, we also have this new thing, notifications. And so it definitely makes your life a little bit easier, especially since, your industry is so fast paced. It's great to be able to we can provide those notifications.
Mhm.
I think if it's okay to linger on settings a little bit more. Also, if you have any questions about any specific tabs, I know we're doing sort of a briefer overview, but if there's any specifics, feel free to put it in the chat. If I can sneak in another tab, if lead providers is also a popular one. It does depend on your situation if you use a lead provider. So if you pay for leads like through Realtor.com or Zillow, if you're using our product Social Connect, main thing is you can connect a lead provider that we're compatible with to your CRM. And the benefit being that way, when you get a new lead on that lead provider, it automatically gets forwarded to your CRM here. So again, the goal is really to make Top Producer your CRM here, like the go-to spot for everything. So you don't have to like go into multiple tabs and kind of lag through your day. So the way to connect a lead provider that isn't a social Top Producer product like Realtor.com or Zillow, it's the key here is with this @myleads.io email address. So each person will have a different beginning of that so it's your own individual CRM. But you basically would copy that and then paste it into the lead forwarding settings of the lead provider. So you'd like log into your Zillow, get into your account settings, and paste this there. So you're telling Zillow, when I get a new lead, not only forward it to the email that you used to set up your account, but also this myleads.io account. And that way, again, keeps everything in one place. And then once that's done, another feature that's good is to add this lead alert settings that Glenn already has set up. So that way he's going to get an email notification when a new lead comes into his CRM to give him a heads up that, hey, someone's new, let's check in on them. Let's make sure we can get the most of building that rapport sooner rather than later. So that's really popular, especially if your situation is working with lead providers.
Yeah.
I think that was anything else to add for that one, Glenn?
Well, the advantage is we have two ways to get Zillow leads.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because this is for the free leads, right? And then if you're doing like if you're a Zillow Premier agent, you come
Mm.
on down here to Zillow Connect, you just connect your Zillow Premier and it will bring over your contacts from Zillow and set up a synchronization. So any updates and changes you make on either site are going to reflect in the other. So your CRM and your lead provider are working hand in hand. So you'll never have any miscommunication or issues at all. But this is only for Zillow Premier agents. You are free to go in and try to integrate with your regular account. I've seen people who have discontinued their Zillow Premier who have set it up and the lead still came over. So not a bad idea to give it a try. I
Mm.
heard Jordan go, so she just learned something new. So I
Yeah.
have done my job. I'm going, I'm by.
I'm here with like the sensei, like Glenn. Like Glenn's the one that like trained me and everything. So I always learn something new from Glenn. So that's great. And yeah, Zillow Connect is super popular with like that too thing of like it brings all your contacts over and then new contacts coming in are also going to just automatically get pushed over. Okay, cool. I think maybe the last thing then we can maybe, ooh, you're jumping all over again for me, Glenn.
I'm horrible about
You're
that. I
keeping me
apologize.
on my toes.
Well,
It works up well. I think it's a good time to wrap up settings and then that way we can move on to yes, follow up with your contacts. So we did your settings, you have your contacts in there, everything's running smoothly. How can you then, build the next step of actually utilizing the system to the best of its ability? So the three main things that are really popular is follow-up coach, task plan management, and of course, auto response plans. So we'll go through what each of those are. So let's do first follow-up coach. So you can see here it shows up on your home tab. It'll also show, you can also access it through contacts and then follow-up coach. So what follow-up coach is, it's basically addressing the pain point of your clients going kind of stale in your CRM. You have a growing CRM, it can be hard to know, who you haven't spoken to in a long time because you're more so keeping focus on the people who are at the forefront of your to-do list. What follow-up coach does, it identifies who you've had the least amount of contact with in comparison to your other contacts. And it brings them to the forefront 5 at a time with a prompt of how you can keep in touch with them. So it does two things. It really helps to, of course, keep people who are going stale, keeping you in front of them. So you're the first name they think of when they think real estate. But it also helps keep your database clean and up to date. So those two things really help you get the most out of your system. When I've done onboarding and doing like follow-up chats and sort of just seeing how things are going, quite a few agents like to have top producer X on their phone. And that way, when they're waiting for coffee, they're sort of need to kill time watching, Netflix or what have you. They're just swiping through follow-up coach. So they're still working even in those little sort of blips of the day when things are a little bit slow. So this is actually a very popular feature. Anything for you to add, Glenn?
well, that you've covered all the
Yes,
pertinent and
there we go.
important parts. Yes, apparently my training was actually good, and here I always think that I've got that imposter syndrome of being good at my job. So thanks. But let me show you how quick and easy it is to use. One thing I do like to put out there as a uh, message is all names in this software, aside from mine or Heather's or Jordan's, are fake. They do not relate to anybody out there. We do have to make a notice of that because of the fact that it does look like we're showing off personal information, but I used a website to create all these fake names. So none of this info actually, as far as I know, there could be the odd occurrence, but it should not relate to any person who actually is alive or dead. It's like that little message they put at the end of movies and TV shows. So let's show how quick and easy it is to do a follow-up. What do you think, Jordan? Should we do a quick demo?
Yeah, I'm totally down. Let's do this.
Alrighty, so Hui Portaro, we're going to click on the follow-up. So it says to flex your neighborhood. No house, so we could send them a snapshot.
Mhm.
We're going to click on send snapshot. So because of the fact they're Canadian, we're going to use the postal code. So we'll do that and then just hit mark it, send snapshot. I go back to the dashboard. I can set mark done. Send a snapshot. Send a snap. Wow, I can't type.
You know what? When it comes to technology, you really have to cultivate a judgment-free zone. I think we've seen every Zoom can crash when you're talking in a session. Wi-Fi can, the amount of times I've had people apologize for how many tabs they have open, and we're like, we're all in the same boat. It's a judgment-free zone with technology.
Appreciate that because if you knew how many tabs I had open right now,
You have
you
multiple
might
screens too. You have like a spaceship over there.
you would be judging since the three screens in front of me have a lot on them. The two laptops to the sides of me have stuff, and my home computer is right behind me. So yeah,
I'm not
case in
surprised
point.
the slightest.
Yeah, but there you go. I've sent that in the time. It took no time at all. I did that and I have completed it.
Love.
Now, one thing I always like to say, and I cut you off when you're about to say love it, because I know
Yeah,
you well enough to know that's what you're gonna say.
it's true.
One thing I always recommend, there is this button here that says skip. I'm gonna do the thing that I say not to do. Don't ever click on skip. The reason for that If you know for a fact this is somebody that you really are not going to need to talk to anytime in the next, say, 180 days. So that's what, 6 months, roughly. If you hit skip, it puts them at the very back of the list. And you don't want to have people go 6 months without communication unless you know for a fact. But right there, quick and easy. We've done two. Can refresh the list. It'll keep the three that I hadn't done and add two more in. So there you go. Quick and easy way to follow up, as Jordan said. If you're waiting at Starbucks or Dunkin' or your favorite local coffee shop waiting for your coffee, you can quickly do that on your phone. And let's actually show you by taking this tab and shrinking it.
Mm, really going above and beyond here, Glenn.
Well, you want to make sure everyone gets the right experience, right?
Totally.
So you can see this is what it'll look like on your phone. So you can, again, just go here to follow up. You'll notice it changes a little bit here. So instead of going up and down, but I can go over here and say mark done. I called them.
And I do like too that once you've like note taking is so big in your guys' industry, like being able to record what's going on and then have that archive so you have a track. You've worked with so many folks, you're able to easily reference what the conversation was, where they're at, and then schedule a follow-up. So that way you're always setting yourself for success for the next step. You're always setting yourself up to be able to have another touch point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And right here, you can see the note is right there on the dashboard. And this is, again, this is how it's going to look on your cell phone.
You even
So
give me the contact type of fake contacts. You really want to like get it home that these are not real people.
there's a specific reason for that. It's actually because YouTube has
Right.
removed a couple of our videos because of that. So yeah, every contact has a contact type of fake
Okay.
contacts.
Hopefully you guys watching won't have the contact type of fake contacts, but again, it's a judgment-free space. Whatever works for you.
Exactly. Some of the contact types I've seen over the years of working here at Top Producer, and it's been 7 years, some of them would, I would say, make your hair curl, but I don't have any of that to curl, but it would make your hair curl, Jordan.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All
All
right,
right.
great. And I think the next thing, if I remember the PowerPoint correctly, was task plan manager is the next thing.
Yes.
Okay,
Why
great.
am I clicking on the wrong buttons,
I know we're
Jordan?
really getting a little quick tour here. Okay, great. So what task plans are, sort of in a nutshell, if you click on Task Plan Manager, there's three different types. So we have a contact plan they have, which has like a little photo icon, then a lead response plan, and then a transaction plan. So we'll just maybe quickly define what those three are, and that way you guys will kind of know what might work best for your business. So a contact plan, so the ones that Glenn has a million plans saved I can sell from probably past sessions. But basically you'll see on the left, it has icons. It has a person icon. That's a contact plan. That means you can apply it to a contact in your CRM. So that way, if they're already in your CRM, create the plan and you can apply it to them. So that's a contact plan. The second type of plan is lead response plan. So that has a little lightning bolt next to it. And so that is so that you can, if you have a lead provider connected to your CRM, like we mentioned earlier about how you can go about doing that either with Zillow Connect or with a My Leads um, email address attached to that lead provider, you can actually set up for a drip campaign to automatically kick off and apply to that new lead when they're coming in from a lead provider. So just to recap, one is a contact plan, someone who's already in your CRM, and then a lead response plan is someone coming in from the internet, coming in from a lead provider you have connected. So that's the difference between the two. The third one is a transaction plan. So this is more so for you as the agent, as a checklist to keep you on track when a transaction is in motion. It keeps all the information locally for you on your CRM, but it just, especially if you're newer or if you have other agents under you and they need to be able to be following the same procedures, that way they're consistently using the same checklist. So those are the three different plans. Anything to add for that? Glenn, did that make sense? I feel like I maybe, especially when there's three different, I want to make sure it's clear.
You made it perfectly clear. We just had a couple of questions in the
Yeah, I
chat.
saw activity and I was like, ooh, we have questions.
Basically, it's asking about an app.
Okay.
So, as I said, we don't have an app. There's reasons for that. Apps, take space on your phone, and they also require constant synchronization. Now, if there's any type of interference, you're not going to have the latest info. What we have created, and the reason I was able to shrink it down to look like the way it would be on a phone, is by using what's known as a mobile responsive website. This site is designed to look the same on any size screen. So your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, your 27-inch monitor, a movie screen, any of those screen sizes will work for our software. You just get to it the same way. You go into your browser, go to crm.topproducer.com, log in as normal, and if it's the first time you log in on your mobile device, most of the time it's going to come up and say, would you like us to create a tab or a button on your home screen? You just say yes, and we'll help put it there. So it becomes what I call a pseudo app. So I know that was completely different from what Jordan was just going over, and I'm sorry to go on the off ramp there. But when you get a couple of people asking about it, we want to make sure you guys get it and we get the right information to you. So if you have any questions about that, we do go over the mobile responsive again at the end of the presentation. So we'll give a little bit of a different overview.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll make sure that you guys know there is like a video too that has a tutorial. So we'll make sure you also know how to access that as well. It's on the support site.
Yeah,
But
let
those
me
are
find
really
that
great
link.
questions to make sure that you know how to get the most out of the system.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Feel free if you have follow-up questions. Again, this is completely informal, so I'm good to if there's any other questions that are a little bit off topic for what we're talking about, that's also totally okay. It's your system. We want to make sure you're happy using it. But I'll keep moving forward until any other questions pop up. But main thing, 3 different drip campaigns or task plans that you can use. There's 2 ways to be able to create and save a task plan. So on the top right, I know that Glenn's probably juggling some things. Oh, perfect. We have browse templates. So these are templates that come with the system. You just have to choose which ones you want to save to your system. So when you click on this drop-down menu here, or here a drop-down menu will appear, this is a list of all the templates that are available that you can then save. It doesn't automatically just save to your system when you first get it. You get to pick and choose which one you want to save to your system just to help with data management so that you're only saving the information you want to use and your system doesn't get lagged or dragged down and slow down the performance with the information you're not using. So say you wanted to save a contact plan, you would then click where it says search plans by name or type. You click on, say, a buyer prospect plan. Gives you a little overview of what it is. But if you want to be able to edit it and what have you, click on customize plan. And then it gives you again, it gives you that overview again, and then click save plan on the bottom right. Once you save the plan, this means it's saved to your system and you can play with it, edit it, and what have you. Yeah, you can also change the name of it. And then save it. And that way, once it's saved, then you have it available to apply to people who are in your CRM. And as you can see here, there's buttons for adding a task, adding a day. Main thing I think I want to just mention is that it's very flexible to customize to your verbiage, to your needs of your business. You can delete things from here as well as add them. I think the one thing I really want to highlight though is I think a big thing for folks who are using, at least from what I've seen for folks who are using task plans here, is they're like, okay, I want, emails to auto send out. And you can tell an email in this task plan is an email because there's an envelope icon to the left of it, say on day 1. But then the other icons have like a line and 3 dots on day 5 or a phone on day 8. It basically, if it's an item that doesn't have an envelope next to it, it's a reminder for you as the agent. So like there's three lines and 3 dots. It's going to be a reminder as a to-do to sign up, have someone sign up for a market snapshot. And then the phone icon will be a reminder to you to call them. If you want to know what the specific content of an email is, you have to click on this pencil icon on the right-hand side. I think one above for to be an email. Yeah. And then it's going to be this email template's initial touch after meeting. So this is the email template we're going to want to reference when we're going to the template library. So basically the template library is where all your email templates live. That's where you can edit them and adjust them. And then task plan manager is really putting those building blocks together. So you're telling the system what sequence you want these tasks to come into action. Does that all sound good to you so far as well, Glenn?
Sounds perfect.
Love it. Let's then look up that I believe is called initial, let's see, template, initial touch after, yeah, like you right there. So here you can see that this is what the email would look like. And this way also you have the option to customize the template if you wish. So you click on customize templates. I always recommend, you can adjust the name. Your client will never see the name of the template. It's just so that you know what it's labeled as in the system. And then you can do your edits as you wish. Sometimes folks get a question about what are these blue things, with the contact.primary, what have you. These are called merge codes. So this is fantastic, especially for group emails or applying this plan in particular to a group of people. This will automatically pull, in this case, this contact.primary person first name. This will pull the first name of the contact apply automatically. And at the end, if it says agent.first name, it'll pull your first name automatically. So that way you still have that like personalized touch, but it also makes it more efficient because you just can do one email for a group of people. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I
That's
know
actually
I
better.
realize it may be a bit of a mouthful, but hopefully that all sort of makes sense so far. It's really normal for agents as they're sort of getting used to their system. Do a little bit of elbow grease, like get your templates the way you like them, put them together into a plan. That way you can just recycle the plans. And that way you only really have to set them up once and you can just reuse them as you wish.
You're explaining that better than I do, so nicely done.
Not better than you. You're the sensei.
Thank you. Um, that sounded bad. We do have another question.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan asked, I know we were able to print lead sheets in Top Producer 8i for your contacts as well. Will we be able to print reports for our closed transactions like we were able to in Top Producer 8i? I'm going to answer this one because it's more on the technical side, and I know Jordan loves it when I do the technical stuff instead of making her do it.
Yay.
So yes, 8i did have all those printing capabilities. Because of the way that we have redesigned X to be more mobile responsive and fluid, we actually did not put in those printing capabilities. The only place you're actually going to see the ability to print anything in our software right now is here. You could print out the tasks. That being said, that is something that is on the roadmap to fix that oversight, is the best way to put it.
Hmm.
In infinite wisdom, we actually thought that people wanted to get away from printed paper and stuff. So our development team made the decision to not add printing in. That has resulted in a lot of people saying we're nuts and we need to get it back in. So in our feedback button down here,
That's
when
it.
you,
Really loose back to that feedback button.
yep, when you go there, you can go there and add your name to the list of people that want printed capabilities returned to X. With that, you can still do some of the the lead sheets and stuff in 8i are still printable. However, there is the problem of the fact that due to the technological differences, I mean, 8i was created in 2004, I think, and X was originally started in 2019. You have 15 years of technological changes where it's 2004 was the Stone Age. We're up to the information age, and it went that quickly. So the programs are not as compatible, so we can't go backwards. But again, long meandering way of saying we don't have it. But please, please, please put your feedback in and tell us you want printed media. Abuse those developers and leadership team with what you want so we can make Top Producer the program for you.
Yeah, the devs really love Glenn for really just pushing for feedback. It is the only way to improve, and it as you even with the notifications button we mentioned earlier, the reason that exists is because of so much feedback that we take to heart. Okay, cool. Great question. Maybe a next good step, if it sounds good to you too, Glenn, is maybe showing how to apply the contact plan. Like now we know how to save it and edit it. Maybe we can practice actually applying it so that way you kind of know the full cycle of how to use it. Okay.
Absolutely. Do you want to do it on a single or a group?
Let's first do single. That way we can kind of maybe do like just baby steps a little bit. So let's put it on Heather. Perfect. So say you wanted to put it on this individual. You then go to tasks. Perfect. And then apply plan on the top right. And then this is where you select the plan that you have saved, ready to go.
One thing I will always say, you'll notice I've got a lot of them with exclamation marks and pound signs, sorry, hashtags in front of them. This is so they come up to the top. Yes, I'm showing my age by
You
saying
really
pound sign.
are. Pound sign. All right. Judgment-free zone.
Uh-huh, until after the call.
Exactly. We'll have a chat.
So yeah, if you do put that symbol in front, it does help bring them up to the forefront of the list. So because I had named this one that we had done Jordan's buyer prospect plan, I figured it was only appropriate to highlight her plan.
Of course.
So you're going to have your plan go to Heather.
Perfect. She's gonna come back from her trip and be like, huh?
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
Great
Yep.
welcome home gift.
Well, should we set it to come back on the day she gets back?
Yeah, let's do it. That's a great other good feature, being able to customize when the plan actually, goes into motion. So if there's an event coming up, holiday plan, like whatever sort of your circumstances, you can at least also delay it if you need to.
Absolutely. And then we'll just hit this apply plan button. And there you go. It's on the contact.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
easy as that. And then if you do need to take them off the plan, maybe you run into them in the grocery store and they're moving to, I don't know, Burma. Maybe folks live in Burma. I don't know. It was the first place that came to mind. But if they're no longer going to be ready to do business with you, you can just easily, click on the name of the plan on that top left and then unapply plan. So even I do recommend you say for yourself, if this is new for you, apply the plan to yourself, practice on your own contact record before doing it on a client. Just makes you more comfortable. And then once you're done getting emails from yourself, you can come in here and just unapply the plan. Cool.
And just so we don't overload Heather, I will
That's
unapply.
actually a good idea. She's going to come back to so many emails. Her inbox
Oh,
already is going to be kind of scary.
yes, this is true. We should make sure not to abuse our poor Heather.
Yeah. Abuse the devs, not Heather.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now let's do in group. So we did it for just one person. Say you had a group of people you want to put on this drip campaign. Yeah, easy as that. You can do those, be able to select who you want. And then it's just, the little clipboard in between the trash can and the envelope. And it's the same process. And
Okay,
there
and
you
I'm not going to actually click apply plan because then
go.
I'd have to go through each one individually and remove it.
Yeah.
And I am lazy.
I
I want to do that.
think hopefully you guys get the gist of, this is how you do it for an individual person
Yeah.
versus a group of people. But again, super easy and simple. But main thing is, Rob, just get sort of what your plans and your templates the way you like it, and then you kind of just don't have to think about it again. You just apply it when necessary.
Yeah, something I always like to mention about that. We have a lot of really good templates and a lot of great plans, but they were created by an amazing young lady on our team, but she's not you. She's
Yeah.
done some really phenomenal work on the emails and also on the plans that are great for generic. But in the industry you're in, it's the person-to-person contact. You want to take the templates and change them up and make them more you so that it's coming from you and not coming from top producer.
Mhm.
So yeah, as Jordan said, you want to take a little bit of time at the start, get used to it, do a little bit more poking and prodding and customization because all the work you do now is going to pay off in the future.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. Should we then move on to those auto respond plans with the lead response rules? Similar
Absolutely.
on the similar vein of what we're talking about. So we can go back to task plan manager just to make sure you know that. So what we just did is a contact plan. A lead response plan has that lightning bolt. So it's the same thing, same way to like edit it as needed and saving a template as needed. Same steps we just did it, just a different type. To apply it in this regard, you'd go then to lead response rules, and it even has a lightning bolt, so you know they match. And then you'd click on add response rule. And then this will have a little form of like, what do you want to call it? So it can be whatever you want, but we recommend calling it whatever like provider it's with typically. That way at a glance you can see what it is. So really, and then you choose what the source is going to be. And then buyer or seller, it has to just be one or the other, just the system has something to sort of apply to it. And then you just select the plan that you already have saved. And then you save the rule. And this means when someone comes in from that source, say realtor.com, Zillow, what have you. When someone comes in with that source, the system's like, this person came from that source, and there's a rule in my system that whenever anyone comes in from this source, I will automatically apply this plan. So they're getting nurtured like right out of the gate. So that's really helpful to be able to, touch base with people sooner rather than later, of course. And the additional feature that's unique to lead response rules is that if a person responds to a message that's in the plan, the drip campaign will automatically stop. So that way it will not send a message that's out of context. If they do message back with like a question about their situation, the system won't then send them kind of a standard response that can be a tip off that it's an automation. So that helps to sort of get them to the point where they will respond, and then you can just take over from there.
Yeah, we are trying to put a little bit of automation into the system for you to make your life easier, but we want to maintain the fact that you are human.
Mhm.
They haven't created the realtor bot yet, thankfully. So you guys want people to realize they're talking to, again, my favorite term, 100% homegrown humans.
Yeah, for like a geeky guy, you'd think you'd be more keen on robots, but like they really, really, yeah, not for it.
Okay, before your time, watch the
Uh-huh.
Terminator movie. You'll
Okay.
understand why.
Okay. All right. I'll do my research.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think maybe the last thing we'll touch on before I move on from maybe plans is is it okay to just quickly show to apply a transaction plan? I know I'm keeping an eye on the time. So how to apply a transaction plan? Yeah, you just adding a transaction. Make sure you have a plan already in your system like we did before with a contact and the lead response plan. So make sure it's good to go. And then you can just click on a transaction and click on tasks in the center and then apply plan again on the top right there. And then we can apply it. Apply plan is already, you probably already applied it in past sessions. It's right there. Yeah. There
Let me
you
unapply and reapply
go.
for you.
We can
Sorry,
see the
Jordan.
magic happen.
See the magic happen.
There you go.
Here's
Let's
the
see
magic.
it. The moment of truth. There we go.
There you go. Quick look behind the curtain.
Yeah, that like one task you have on your plan.
I think I have more than
There
not.
we go.
It's just because that one's for tomorrow, so it doesn't
Got
show
it.
too many. Plus, a lot of these are different types.
There you
We
go.
don't want to overload you on your all tasks right at the
Yeah.
start. Plus,
Has a date range as well.
yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I think I have some weird dates on that plan because this is a test account. I
Mhm.
do a lot of testing of things because I try to break software before it gets to you folks. That way you don't run into the problem. So I deal with the headaches and then tell our development team to
Again,
fix
the
them.
devs love Glenn. He breaks stuff. He breaks
They
things
don't love me
again.
that much.
Okay, cool. So that's my whole spiel for task plan slash drip campaigns, just so you guys know the three different types and how you can utilize them to support your business. Okay, great. So the next thing, contact status, types, tabs, customization, all that good stuff. So especially when you have a database full of a bunch of people that's continuing to grow, it's going to be, of course, very important that you are able to organize it so you can make the most out of your CRM. So two ways to do that is with statuses and contact types. Contact types like fake contacts. We kind of saw that a little bit earlier ago. But really making sure you're able to showcase and organize your folks easily and make it easy to navigate through your CRM. Did we want to maybe show like maybe a contact of how you can like add a contact type and then do a customized tab? Do you think we have time for that?
Absolutely. We
Okay,
can do
cool.
that.
So,
Remember, I am your Muppet. Just tell me what to do.
okay. I don't usually get Glenn as a Muppet. I feel like I have too much power. Okay, cool.
Great power comes great
I
responsibility.
know.
Remember that.
And now I'm getting homework. I have to watch Terminator after this now. Okay, cool. Let's open up a contact sort of at random here, just so we can just show, yeah. So if you to adjust a status, you can of course edit the contact, as well as on the right-hand side under dashboard. This is also where you can update the status. So you do have to update statuses manually. The system won't know what phone calls you might have done, running into the grocery store, like I mentioned, ballet recitals where you meet someone and they want to do business and that changes their status. So from new to engaged, that just means brand new. It's really good practice to have as few people in the new status as you can. That way you know who you've basically addressed those people as soon as possible. Engaged means you're sort of assessing their situation to then be able to select them into putting in to either choose to put them into either future or active. So future meaning they're not ready to do business right this second, right now, but hopefully in the future. Or they could be active, where they're ready to hit the ground running, they're motivated to then once they go to active, they're closed. So that's sort of your pipeline. There's two other statuses, inactive and non-client. So non-client is really great for folks that are maybe other agents you have in your CRM, a home inspector you work with frequently, a gardener, anybody else who you work with for your business who is not a client, put them as non-client. That way you can have everybody in one place, but you don't get confused of who's a client and who's just sort of a vendor or collaborator. And then finally, inactive. So inactive is for folks, maybe you worked with them and they moved to a different, state or province. So you can't really do business with them, but you don't want to get rid of their contact information. What if they want to refer you? What if they move back? You want to still have their contact information. So inactive is a good sort of holding place for those folks who, they're a bit of a standstill. It's also a good backup if you're hesitant to delete someone for any reason. So we do delete, you do it, you can delete people, it's your product, and it does get fully wiped from our system. So if you're hesitant all about that, just put them into inactive.
And I'm gonna add to that, because of the fact that this is personal data and personal information, when you do click on this delete button up here and then type in all caps delete to confirm that you actually want to delete it, it is a secure wipe. So what that means in computer terms, it has actually been fully flushed out of the system. Data recovery is the biggest nightmare for any technician. I've done it over the years. I've had people cry with joy and cry with sorrow because of what they've lost and that wasn't able to be recovered or was recovered. So be very, very vigilant to make sure if you want to delete it, you really 100% want to delete it.
Totally. Yeah.
There's no coming back.
So yeah, that's why an act is a good thing to have in your back pocket because it feels like a commitment. So if you're like not so sure, just put them into an active. So that's statuses. The other thing I want to touch on is contact type. So as you can see, fake contact. You click on, if you want to add another contact type, edit it, click on yes, edit contact. We'll scroll down a little bit until there you go, contact types. So when you click search to add, there's a drop-down menu of all the contact types that came with the system and then any ones that maybe you've created using the system more long-term potentially. But you can always add more. So if there you go, you create typing is just like not your thing. Tub, but dear.
I, I gotta say, I think I picked that up from a former manager who never in his whole time I worked with him did he ever spell the word the right.
Oh,
It was
I
always
mean,
TH.
as long as you get the gist of the message, I guess.
Yeah,
But
and I just look at it and I see the word and it automatically my brain says the, but yeah, thank you for catching the tuh.
I gotta call you out when I can. It
I
happens rarely.
appreciate I appreciate.
So yeah, and this way you can create your own. So any other, folks in your sphere of influence, create it here. You can add multiple if they fall under multiple buckets, but having this in tandem with the statuses, not only will you know what sort of category they're in to help sort of support them better, but then you also know what status they're at will really help especially down the line as I mentioned, you're gonna be working with a lot of folks. So then save contact. All right, my next thought is to show how to create a custom tab based on the contact type, unless you have anything else to add. No.
Nope, you've got the range, you've got the control. I am just the Muppet.
It's so unnerving. It's just so much power. Okay. So another reason why doing contact types is so great is I really like having being able to create a custom tab. So the tabs up here that go from all down to the social connect tab, you can create your own tab. And to do that, you click on the gear icon on the top right and then click create tab. So the most popular way to do this is doing with a contact type. So you could label it whatever you want, and then underneath that second field, you choose what contact type is going to fall under that label you just created. And that way you can have like a customized tab. So all your people in one group show up in one tab, and it really helps, especially for like group emails. You can kind of help break down your database into more digestible sections. And that helps a lot when you're having a growing database. So just like that. And it's also customizable in the sense of like, you can like drag Jordan demo down if you want it to be more sort of top of mind thing you see. So that way you can reorganize your tabs to fit your needs. And if you need to delete the tab, even easier, you just click on it, drag it down. When it turns like a pinky red color, you'll let it go and confirm you want it deleted to delete it. The reason I want to just have it also another thing to highlight, it will only delete the tab. It will not delete your contact that was in the tab. So I know deleting can be scary, especially after Glenn's little spiel there, but don't worry, deleting a tab will not start deleting people from your CRM.
Yeah, that is just the tab. It is not, I mean, you can delete some of the other ones. I could delete out the closed tab, and all the people that were under closed are still going to be there. Let's see, when I reset tabs to defaults, you'll see my closed came back with the 2 in it. So yeah, no fears there. It's just when you click on this trash can on the people.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think
Cool.
that was everything I wanted to cover for context, status, tabs, and customization. Is there anything else on your end?
Nope, you're handling it perfectly, and
Cool.
yep.
There you
Oh,
go. So some cool features. So we have property insights, which I don't know if I might have said this a little bit quietly, but it kind of ties to what we were talking about with the MLS credentials. So property insights pull from your MLS. So if you have an MLS that's compatible with us, you're able to use this feature. We can probably briefly show
sure.
how this kind of works. If you want to pull up a contact.
Yep, I just have to make sure I'm on the right computer screen.
It's hard living in a spaceship, huh? Never know.
Some days, some days.
So property insights, it's really great when you're working with buyers. So say that you're working with someone, they're like, oh, I saw this, house down the street at this address I want to check out, or they're on Zillow or what have you. And there's like, I saw this, it has this MLS ID or this address. It's really great. So that way you could just add that insight. So the add insight button's on the top right. And just make sure you have your MLS credentials connected like we did in settings so that it knows where to pull from. And this is where you would then put in the address or the MLS ID of that property. Do you have a property in the Look at you, you're so prepared. Wow, look at him
Gotta
go.
have it ready for you.
Wow, you're really thinking of living large, huh?
4 bed, 4 bath. The
Nice.
smaller, there's less beds and baths than I have in my present house, but
Oh, really?
1,200 square feet more. And
Wow.
even if I sold my house here in Canada, I would not be able to afford that one in the US.
Woof. Well, we can dream. Let's save the property insight. We'll live wildly here.
Well, look at this one that I was living wildly on, the
Oh my
10.5
gosh.
million.
Wow.
Oh, 5 bed and
It's called,
nine
it's called
baths.
manifesting. So as you can see now it's added, and the great thing is you can keep track of the status of this property. So you see on the right, it says like inquired on. Then if the person says made offer, maybe they made an offer on it. You click on that, then it prompts you to add a transaction. So it really helps streamline that process. If you click on transaction, then the form will actually have a lot of the information pulled about the property already auto-populated. So then you can add stuff about your commission or any other sort of logistics, or maybe more specific details, I should say, about this property, and then it'll save that information here. I should highlight too, it saves all this information locally, like on your CRM. This won't impact any of the information that's displayed on the MLS. It's just so that you can kind of keep track of everything. The other thing I know that is very popular is say you take them, say that they're interested or you've shown it to them, you can adjust that as well. But the main thing is you can write notes about how that showing went or how, what the people are thinking about this property. So that way, if they're having a hard time, you can kind of review your notes and maybe sort of readjust things. Or if they buy a home and then 5 to 8 years they want to sell, you can see, oh, well, I remember you really liked A, B, and C, and they're going to be so impressed that remember them so well because they're your favorite client. Again, that personal touch really helps, and this system hopefully will help you be able to deliver that.
Absolutely. And the notes you'll see here,
Mhm.
it actually puts the address on it. So when you go to the dashboard, you'll see it's right there, the most recent one. And yeah, we did a wow at the price with
Yeah.
10.5, but then when we go to all notes, there it is there as well. So you will never lose a note,
Yeah,
and you'll
never.
always be able to go back to your insights and say, yep, I had been able to show them these ones, and this is the ones they liked. It's also great for while you're doing the showing of a
Mhm.
buyer, because you can put the properties they want to see in there. And you now have a history of all the properties they have looked at or inquired about. And you don't have to worry about making sure you have that folder with you. I remember 13 years ago when we were looking to buy our house, the agent and the agent's assistant, whenever we were with them, they had a great big folder of information. You don't have to have that anymore. You just have your tablet or your cell phone, and there it is.
Yeah, the cell phone piece again. Yeah, if you're driving in between showings, you kind of need a reminder of what showing you're going into and like what's sort of the impression so far of how things are going. Just check it up on your phone. But yeah, okay, I think that's all I had to say about that. Market
Perfect.
Snapshot, of course, a very popular marketing tool. So for folks who have compatible MLSs, so we definitely. Oh, I see we have another question. I don't. Do you want to take it? I want to make sure we're answering questions, especially since before I add more new things, and we're kind of hitting their time. I got excited.
Well, it's okay. Your excitement is just what the day needs, Jordan. So keep it up, stay excited. Jonathan, I am happy to say that we do,
Yeah.
or when I say we, that's the royal we, meaning I will
Yeah.
post it to YouTube later. At the end of the slide deck, I do actually have a link to our YouTube channel. But if you go to YouTube and just search top producer, it'll come up, you'll see our logo, and all the historical ones we've had
Mhm.
are there. So you could see all the shenanigans that go on between me and Heather because I don't know if we know how to be serious on these webinars. We just like to have fun because, as Jordan said, technology can be dry, but
Yeah,
let's have fun.
totally.
Like,
Yeah.
you can definitely go back and rewatch, and we have a plethora of interesting videos on there. You like how I threw that big word in there, Jordan?
Look at you're so such an intellect, Glenn. You're such an
Well,
intellect.
I am wearing a t-shirt that says Dungeons
Dungeons
and
and
Dragons.
Dragons.
Total
Okay.
geek moment there, right? But yes,
Happy for you.
it'll be up. It'll be up there for sure. We make sure uh I have 4 hours to get it done. I'm pretty sure I can get it done in that time.
Yeah. And I'm glad to hear that this is being helpful. I think that was from Jonathan. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're getting finding this helpful, Jonathan. That means a lot.
Yeah, we do these every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. If you have another opportunity to join us, please, we're happy to have you. And I know we say it's an hour. We never stick to an hour, so don't worry, Jordan, Heather, and I
Okay,
have.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we've only hit the hour once, so
Oh, okay, I feel a
all
lot
good.
better. I was like, I
Oh,
gotta keep up sort of, the Heather quota.
no, you're doing great.
Okay, cool. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad that we have a little bit more wiggle room. And of course, if there's more questions, as we mentioned before, we're happy to support along the way. But it looks like we're now at market snapshot time. So market snapshot is, as you can kind of see here, it's a powerful tool that provides sort of an overview of what's going on for in the market for an individual. And it's really popular because it's very much like a set it and forget it kind of thing. So once someone gets one market snapshot where, you've listed out what their zip code or postal code of interest is, or, price range, bed bath, you just sort of set it up for them. And then the system just goes. Then the system will automatically send an updated market snapshot out with that criteria every 2 weeks. That's the default frequency. You can alter it if you wish, as well as it has a bonus feature of listing alerts. So if something is either just sold, price changed, or something just got added to that area of interest, the person will automatically get a little update daily about that. But yeah, here let's do a little, good idea to do a little maybe overview. So this is how you would do set up a market snapshot for a person, and you do have to do them individually, simply because everybody has different like situations for where they are for real estate. You can't really do a blanket thing for everybody. So set it up for the person like we are for Heather. So we put in a zip code for her at the bare minimum. And the section underneath is if you need to add any like additional zip codes or cities, just to broaden the search if you need to. So that's what that section. Property types, one, this is if you need to adjust, of course, the types of properties. I don't see folks usually needing to adjust this super frequently. It's really on a case-by-case basis. Is that the same for you, Glenn?
Oh, absolutely. And you'll notice we have a default in MLS specific. There's a reason for that. You will have specific MLSs that have different ones. I remember showing one client one time and I clicked on MLS specific, and the very first option was houseboat. And I was like,
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah,
Okay.
we have them here just outside of where I live. There's a whole section of houseboats down by the Fraser River. So it's pretty cool. But Yeah, you can have that there. And I will say one thing I'm very cognizant of,
Mm.
always put in the bare minimum first and then add more.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all these features, and these are all criteria that I'm sure you all have nightmares about now and then because it just goes through your head all the time. But I always recommend to put in the bare minimum, like a zip code and an address, and then come down to the bottom
Mm-hmm.
and hit this button here. This says preview listings. There's a madness to my method, as always. So it's going to now query our MLS connection at a super high rate of speed, as you can see.
Mm.
And it's going to come back and tell me there's 175 listings matching my snapshot criteria in that zip code. Now, 175 is a lot. We are going to give people sold, pending, expired, new for sale, and for sale. But this is a very broad strokes look. So I like to do that because a lot of times, if you put too much information in, you'll get nothing and the client won't
Mm.
get anything. So let's put in a minimum price of 500,000 and then preview again. And this way you can actually set the information as needed. It's taken that time. That only took it down 12 listings.
Mm.
I was too broad, wasn't I?
It is like it's really nice to get into the routine though of like preview your listings before you send it. It gives you that extra assurance of like, okay, there's definitely something matching. And it also can help give you sort of a little bit of a taste of what they're going to be seeing.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah,
there, that's,
the more you put in, the more sort of strict you are, and it's going to, yeah, definitely cut down on the results.
that becomes a little bit more tangible. We will give a maximum of 100 properties, but 34 is a lot more tangible. Plus you get a good mix of active, solds, and pendings.
Yeah. Okay, one thing, do you want to maybe, I want to show one thing before we send it. If you want to click on back to snapshot form.
For
At the
sure.
bottom is snapshot settings. So I had mentioned earlier about the default frequency being every 2 weeks, but maybe they're more keen and you want it to be weekly. Or if they're more just sort of wanting to be kept in the loop, they're in a little bit more of a looky-loo, you can make it, yeah, not as frequent. And that way you can adjust it to the person's sort of life situation. As well, I had mentioned that bonus feature of listing alerts where once a day they'll get a little update, but only if there's this new information to share of just listed, price change, and just sold. If you know this person is not keen on notifications, maybe they're not keen on technology and they just don't want to feel like they're getting that feedback, turn it off just for this person by, yeah, toggling it off. All right, that was my last 2 cents before we send it, if that sounds okay with you.
Yep.
Great. And
And the reason I chuckled is because that's actually Heather's work email. So she's going to get us.
oh, really? All right, Heather. Look how nice. I think that MLS is like in Seattle, right?
Yeah. It's most of the Pacific Northwest. So Seattle, Tacoma, Blaine, Birch Bay.
There you go.
So I know the actual area. That's why the house I picked. I've seen that house because my mother-in-law lives in the subdivision right beside. I didn't realize they had any that were up over $1 million at this point.
Jeez. All
That's
right.
kind of scary.
All right, cool. Maybe do we need to, yeah, maybe refresh the page and we can actually see the market snapshot that we sent to Heather, and that way we're able to view it as she would see it. So the reason I say to refresh it is just give the computer like a chance to update the page. And that way you can see first of when you click on her name and that zip code, you get to see when the next one is scheduled. They can also unsubscribe if they want to from getting market snapshots. And if they do, that'll get reflected here under next scheduled date. It'll say something, I think it's like in bright red font of like consumer unsubscribed. That way you're aware of that. And then you can also stop it too if they decide, if you have a conversation, they're no longer a client you want to send to, you can. But the main thing I want to show is how you can view the report. So on the bottom right, you click on view report and it should open up in a new tab. We'll see how this works with our sharing Zoom. Oh yeah, looks like
Oh,
it's
it's
doing
going to
what I need
work.
it
It's
to.
just
It's gonna
my computer is trying to request takeoff permission. The fan is going so
Oh
fast, it's
my
like pulling off.
gosh. You really are a spaceship. You're gonna take off to space like any second now.
I'm waiting for the mothership. You know that.
Okay, great. So now you get to see what the market snapshot looks like for the recipients. You get to see what they're seeing. So that way you can see that, they have analytics that are being pulled from the MLS based on what the search criteria is. And then you have these sort of colorful rainbow buttons here. So this gives the client the ability to be able to toggle on and off what they want to see to give them like a full overview of what's happening. So if they don't want to see pending, they don't want to see sold, they just click it and those properties get faded away. Um, a good way to get some also feedback is if of what they're thinking is if when you want to click on a property of your choosing, whichever one's speaking to you.
I just randomly clicked, put my mouse and just pressed.
Let's say I would have chosen the yellow one, but hey, do what you want to do.
The yellow
Um,
one? Okay, hang on. If
the
Jordan
yellow
wants,
one was so cute. It looks like it's out of a cartoon. Look how sweet that is. It's like almost like the Up house, like the movie Up. Um,
never
anyway,
ask Rick Astley to borrow that movie because he's never going to let you down. He's never going to give you up.
there you go. Anyways, the main thing I wanted to highlight, which is really popular, is that you can actually get feedback from your client as they're going through the market snapshot. So if they click on, do you like this listing, or click on the heart, you get an email notification that they've liked this specific property. They can also, I think Glenn was also sort of poking of like the ask about this listing. They can actually email you through the market snapshot. So if they're having a stream of consciousness and questions, they don't have to leave where there's all these properties and are kind of in the mode of just, real estate. They can just keep in that sort of vibe and contact you through the market snapshot. Of course, look at property details as well. So it's a really user-friendly, super simple product, but it really helps to sort of nurture people and keep them engaged with what's going on. And then you're their point person. You're the one providing them with this service. So if they have questions about it, you're the first person they go to.
One of the key highlights I like is this walk score
Mm.
button. The higher the walk score, the less you need to have a car or have to rely on transit. And considering I looked at gas prices on the weekend and
Mm.
contemplated throwing my keys away, walk score is a very important thing to have, especially with the economy and inflation the way it is. The less you have to use that gas guzzler, the better. This will tell you. So we can click on this. It will open up another website, but it'll show you where your location is of the property. And this one's a really good one in downtown Blaine.
Mhm.
It's 7 minute walk, which I mean, I'm lazy, so I wouldn't want to walk 7 minutes. But you could bike it and it's a 1 minute drive.
There you
So
go.
this is information that will be very important to you and your clients.
Yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, they'll get an updated one every 2 weeks if you leave it to that default frequency. So set it, forget it, then they'll be getting this information automatically through our system.
Great.
Okay, great. I feel like that's pretty good so far for Market Snapshot. What's the next thing on this? This is our new features. Oh yeah, we have like a designated tab. So that way, if you want to be sort of kept in the loop yourself of what's going on with Top Producer here, we do have a designated tab to our most recent features and upcoming features.
Yep. And right here, $50 credit for every friend you refer to Top Producer CRM.
Mm.
Honestly, I think that I may be wrong on this, but I would refer a friend. You might actually get a full month's credit. We're
Yeah,
trying to make it definitely better for you.
for sure. Sharing is caring, you know?
Yes.
Cheesy as it is.
Totally cheesy, but takes me back. You got your Care Bear in the background there somewhere?
Yeah, he's my bestie.
There you go. Okay, so let's see what else do we have. Oh, Social Connect. Okay.
Oh yeah,
We
very
have mentioned this. If you don't mind,
go
Jordan,
for
I
it.
will go over the salient information. Social Connect is our new ads program. We know that a lot of the work and information you guys need comes from your ads revenue. How would you like to be able to have somebody else actually controlling the ads and doing all the hard work of putting it up, posting it, and maintaining it? Well, that's what Social Connect is. It is a new product, and a lot of times you are going to see the word lead. I'm not a fan of that word. I like to say you'll get inquiries from social media, either from Facebook or Instagram. So we will create the ads for you. We will post them up with 5 cities of your choosing. I almost did that for five
Counting is
cities of your
hard.
choosing.
Glenn
Counting is
fell
hard.
a lot as a child, I think. Maybe that's
I played hockey and football. There was a
that
lot of,
tracks. That tracks.
yeah, on brand, right?
Yeah.
So really, it's easy because this day and age, we're always social scrolling. I mean, we have a internet in the palm of our hand, right?
Mhm.
So when you're bored, you go to social media. So let it work for you. Anybody who's scrolling through who has looked for housing or property or real estate in your area, we will now, because the fact that these phones know exactly what we're thinking of before we even think about it, we'll be able to say on your Facebook or on their Facebook or Instagram, they'll put up the ads. If you're going to have ads on there, might as well have one that's getting you some money, right? So we will put it on the social media. We will craft the ad for you. The form is automatically filled out for them. They click on get info, it pulls the info from their socials, next year. Once it's in the CRM, we will follow up with them right away to say, hey, well, thanks for reaching out to us. What specifically are you looking for so that we can help you out? It does go through different areas, and we do have a 4-month plan that sends information to your clients. And that just gets them engaged and hopefully it turns them from a inquiry into a lead and then a client. And if you have any questions about this, you can absolutely get one of our sales representatives to call out and go over it. And absolutely, they'd love to take your credit card and sell it to you because our salespeople love selling stuff.
Mhm. It is a very popular tool if you just want to get, getting some fresh folks into your CRM, into the rotation. It's a very, Instagram and Facebook is a very, as well used platform. There's definitely not a lack of eyeballs over there.
Absolutely. So again, as we said, put us in your pocket. We are mobile friendly.
Mhm.
So I did earlier put in the link.
Oh,
It's
fabulous.
yes, support.topproducer.com/x/top-producer-x. I'm not going to go through the whole thing.
Okay. It's
It's a
there.
really long. It's a really
Yeah.
long link. You can get to it. You just go to crm.topproducer.com on your browser of choice. On a Android phone, it works for all browsers. And this picture actually came from an Android. You go up there, you click on these 3 dots here on the right-hand side, and you'll be able to have an option to set on homepage. With mobile, wow, I forgot how to talk to them. Let me try that again. With Apple devices,
Mhm.
you actually have to go through Safari. Once you go to crm.topproducer.com, at the very bottom, you'll see the 5 icons, the 2 arrows, and then the center one is a box with a arrow pointing up. You click on that, and it'll have an option to save to home screen. There you go. Top
Okay.
producer in your pocket.
Fabulous.
And I do see that we're having people drop out, so we will bring this to an end. I was
Yeah,
going
we'll
to say a quick
continue.
end, but we're already 15 minutes over the hour, so it's not quick. But again, we definitely don't want you to feel left out in the dark. So we
Mhm.
do have our top producer support site at support.topproducer.com. The schedule, if you go to that site, you can see the schedule and recordings for all of our videos. And we do have a quick video library there. And again, we're talking about Facebook right off the bat here, facebook.com/group/top producer software. The YouTube page, which unfortunately Jonathan asked about it. Oh, Jonathan is still here. I thought I saw you disappear. No, you're still here. Good. YouTube.com/top producer software. Right there for you, my friend. And blog, topproducer.com/blog. Again, anytime you need help, please reach out to our support team. They're absolutely fabulous human beings that look forward to making your life better and getting your experience going in the right place. And Jordan, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the very last thing on this page, wouldn't I?
Mhm. Yeah, maybe a
So
little bit. Yeah.
again, Jordan and I both are part of our concierge onboarding team. We like to call ourselves the success team because our job is to make sure you are a success. We do offer packages where you can actually get one-on-one time with myself or Jordan, or possibly either Heather or Evan, one of our other members. We'll go over the software with you, answer questions with you. You get a couple of 3 calls with us, 1 or 3 calls, depending on the specific plan you get, and we're here to help you. will make life better, we hope.
Yeah.
And with that, that's a wrap.
You're right, we did it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today and spending time with us. We hope that we were helpful. And again, I think we made it pretty abundantly clear that we're happy to help you along the way. So reach out and learn however best sort of fits your needs.
Absolutely. So we will be here for you. Any question, please reach out. But happy Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day. And thanks for spending the last hour and 16 minutes with me and Jordan.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day, you guys.
Take care and bye for now.
Bye.